This is a true story. I hope I'm saying his last name right. Thomas Kimono was a man who was factually put away into prison for abuse, molesting, lewd conduct toward young girls. By pretending, how he did this was he pretended that his cat was lost. I was 8 years old, living in Dana Point, California, when Thomas approached my friend and I to help him find his cat. He took us to a park behind my house and tried to molest me before I ran away. I was a key witness in his trial before he was sentenced to 8 years in prison. He molested multiple girls between 1990 and 1995. Now, you will notice that I am not saying allegedly because he went to prison for this. So this is not I'm not risking defamation here. She's not lying. Despite his conviction, despite having spent years in prison for these crimes, Rob McCoy, the pastor who makes my skin crawl, struck up thereafter and maintained a long friendship with Thomas Kimono across decades. Rob then decides that Kimono should be involved in the Calvary Chapel Church, and more specifically, that Kimono should have access to young children in a program called Home Fellowship, which put him inside the homes of children. And he almost got away with it until some mothers went online, remembered exactly what had happened, and raised hell about it in 2022. Now, in response to this being discovered, Rob McCoy did not apologize. No. That's not how this works. But he is going to host Thomas Kimono for a podcast episode on the Bryce Eddy Show. He's going to vent his frustration at the people who are up in arms about the placement of this man in close confine with young children without people recognizing that, okay, this guy has literally spent 8 years in prison for abuse.
You and I have been friends. There's been no issues. It's remarkable how you've served this community. I personally made the call that they can make fun of us and they can claim whatever they want to claim, but I wanted your family protected. So I pulled that, I guess it was a advertisement for the Home Fellowship, which we do for all the home fellowships.
So he's upset, and he goes on to talk about how people online who don't know the full story are digging stuff up, and like, this guy's really a good guy, despite the fact that the cops, as he said, found a footprint, a palm print, plus 11 out of 17 items that they were looking for in his home. You are free to pursue that conversation in its entirety. Like, we're trying to include as much as we can for the sake of this podcast without going too long. It's just incredible, okay? The person who took the stand still remembers and emailed me, but somehow he's the victim, and Rob wants that to come across. He's annoyed that this has come up.